Martin Luther King Jr. at Brown's Chapel in Selma, Alabama, ironically speaks of dying. 1 month and 3 years later, he would fall to an assassin's bullet.
Deep down in our nonviolent creed is the conviction that there are some things so dear, some things so precious, some things so eternally true that they're worth dying for. And if a man happens to be 36 years old, as I happen to be, and some great truth stands before the door of his life, some great opportunity to stand up for that which is right, he's afraid his home will get bombed, or he's afraid that he will lose his job, or he's afraid that he will get shot or beat down by state troopers. He may go on and live until he's 80. If he's just as dead as 36, as he would be at 80, and the cessation of breathing in his life is merely the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit. He died. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for that which is right. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to take a stand for that which is true. So we're going to stand up right here amid horses. We're going to stand up right here in Alabama amid the billy clubs. We're going to stand up right here in Alabama amid police dogs if they have them. We're going to stand up amid tear gas. We're going to stand up amid anything that they can muster up, letting the world know that we are determined to be free.
Good morning. This is George Wright, the Partnership Show, sponsored by the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, here in the studio with my partner in crime, Danny Marshall. Danny, I figured that I would play that little-known 2-minute speech by MLK on the heels of MLK Day, a day that is always in our memories, in our hearts, in our prayers. And I think that I would probably venture to say that when this speech was given, you weren't even thought of. 1965.
Actually, is this on?
Yes.
Actually, I'm 36 now, so I was the age he was when he gave that speech.
At the dawn of his life, when he said, if a man refuses to stand up for what is right, what is true, and what is just, he's already dead.
Wow, that's powerful.
What did he say? The cessation of breathing is just an early belated announcement of earlier death of the spirit. You're already dead. And what we have to figure out is how many people have already died.
Wow.
So, the Partnership Show, as we always talk, Danny, you give us, our listening audience, WVON callers, we'd love to have you on the line. We're going to have a great show this morning. But
yes.
The first thing we always want to do is remind people what is the Partnership and how to reach us.
All right. So who is the Partnership? We are the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, the nonprofit umbrella organization. We operate the largest publicly funded workforce system in the nation, serving Chicago and Cook County. Our network is made up of about 100 agencies in Chicago and Cook County that offers job search and training assistance, largely at no cost to our job seekers. If you or somebody you know are in need of our assistance, reach us online at levelupajc.org or 800-720-2515.
Thank you, Danny. Once again, the Partnership Show. So we have a special guest, a good friend of mine who I convinced to come on the show this morning, and I want to talk a little bit about Trez before I start to jump into questions, but I want to make sure that, Trez, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here, big bro.
Thank you, Trez. Trez Pugh is the owner, founder, chief executive officer of a business called Sip and Savor.
Yes.
I'm sure some of our listeners have heard of Sip and Savor and probably have frequented one of the many locations that Trez started. Trez, I want to tell a quick story in terms of how we met, because this kind of dovetails directly into what I think we should talk about this morning, which is the state of small business and how it relates to the workers that small business owners are trying to ensure that they actually cultivate, that they hire, that they train, and they retain. So Trez and I met a few years back, more than a few years back, when I was at the bank and we were investing in a project called the Rosenwall. And Trez was actually contemplating and making it happen to open up one of his many locations in that facility.
Yeah.
And we were at the groundbreaking. Alderman Dow was there. She was talking to me, and Trez came up, and they embraced, and she told Trez, I'm so, so, so happy that you decided to invest in the Rosenwall. And we both had some speaking roles within that program, if you will, and Trez and I have known each other and connected ever since. And I want to start off by asking this question, Trez. So you are a successful entrepreneur. You're a successful small businessman.
Very successful.
But small businessmen that are successful can open up their shops or their stores or their retail outlets anywhere. And in fact, most of them actually go out to areas that they feel are more profitable. But you have stayed true to form in terms of making sure that you are supporting our black communities. Tell us about why you did that. Why did you choose to stay in our neighborhood, to develop your businesses, to hire people from within the community?
First of all, thanks for having me on, George. I really appreciate you. One of the biggest reasons I did that, I grew up on the near north side, so I was kind of fortunate, to be honest. We had a lot of things, a lot of amenities, Whatever we needed as far as in the community was pretty much there, be it a bank, a hospital, a nice eatery, a coffee shop, a dog groomer, jobs was available, So I got into real estate early in the game, and I started buying real estate on the south side of Chicago. And I started noticing that in neighborhoods there wasn't many amenities. And what I mean by that, things that we had on the north side. So I figured if I can get something that could get people together, and it's usually a church or a club or something like that, I said if I can get this coffee, at the time it's called coffee shop, I changed it to coffee house because it's inviting. If I can get these people to come together from all walks of the earth and every industry and make it a positive experience where we won't be talking about crime, we won't be talking about underserved community, we'll start building things up. That's what I wanted to do. So I came up with the tagline, where coffee and community meet. And my whole vision was to bring together those people no matter what industry they was in, whether it was in real estate, politics, religion, sports, education, over a great cup of coffee or tea in an inviting environment where you can feel safe, secure, and just network. And it just blossomed from there. Of course, when you pioneering, I tell people you take a lot of body shots, that being that, a lot of people ain't going to support you at first. You bring in an entity into a place that's unknown. And in our neighborhoods, unfortunately, we used to go into places where you ordering stuff through a bulletproof glass. People are hanging out front. The women don't feel safe going into the establishment because a bunch of people are hoarding in front of it. I wanted to change that whole narrative and that whole thought process of how we should have things. That's the Cliff Notes version.
Thank you, Trez. I really appreciate the notion of coming together, right? Because oftentimes we do come together, but it's always coming together on something that is not as positive.
That's right.
As your dream of making sure people could come together in a safe, respectable environment and have positive thoughts, positive energy. Remember, callers, WVON 773-591-1690, and we already have a caller on the line. I'd love to go to you, Mark Carter, if you're there. Mark, are you there?
Oh,
hello? Hello?
We got you, Mark.
Yes. Hey, George. Man, I met you a few years ago, and there's two books that you told me about, one about the Rothschild family. What were those two books, man? I've been looking for you, man, for so long about those two books. Man, I've been looking for you for so long about those two books, man. When I just heard you say your name, man, I just had to cut my phone on VON. What were those two books, man?
Mark, the first one is called None Dare Call It Conspiracy.
None Dare Call It Conspiracy. I could not think of that to save my life, man.
The other one is called The Color of Law, but the None Dare Call It Conspiracy was so controversial. And it's certainly great to connect with you again, Mark. The work that you have been doing on behalf of our communities in the South and West Side continue to be stalwarts in our community. But None Dare Call It Conspiracy, that book was so controversial that they took it off the market and then it came back on. So it's only about 100 pages, but it's filled with factoids in terms of our economic system, how it started, some of the challenges, et cetera. So, but thanks for connecting, Mark.
What's the other one now?
The Color of Law.
Color of Law. Can you please tell people about those two books? Please do.
Sure. So The Color of Law is basically the premise is it talks about the discriminatory practices and the disparate impact, if you will, that minorities face when they're entering in or coming out of or just, trying to weigh or trying to navigate their way through the criminal justice system. And then None Dare Call It Conspiracy talks really about the central bank and how it started, what were the challenges, some of the discriminatory practices that have resulted in minorities being left behind in the economic system. So one's about the criminal justice system, the other one's about the economic system in America.
And I would like to link back with you because I'm getting ready to go down to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump and all of them, right? We get ready to sit down on some things because we ain't messing with the Democrat Party. Enough of this with us in Chicago, and so we go in a different direction.
So, Mark, let me have your cell phone number or your email address. I'll write it down and we'll connect.
Okay, 1312.
Yep.
905.
Yep.
3962.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate the call. God bless you. So, Trez, I want to get back to you with this question around, and I think Mark brought up something interesting in terms of the books that I had referred him to, which really kind of really talk about our criminal justice system. So, as a small business employer, what I'd love to hear you talk about are some of the challenges that you've turned into opportunities, because you have been a steadfast, and I know this from personal experience, a steadfast promoter of hiring people from within our communities. When I go to Sip and Savor, and I don't drink coffee, but I go in there and I just, kind of look around and see what's happening. And, I always see people that look like me working. And I'd love to hear your take on the challenges and what you turned into opportunities relative to hiring our young people from within our communities.
That's interesting. And it's okay you don't drink coffee, big bro. We got tea, smoothies, hot chocolates. Whatever.
I get the hot chocolate.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, because they think it's a coffee house. I don't drink coffee. They don't come. Well, you're missing out. People come there for the experience and the getting to know the people in the community and the outskirts of the community. So getting to your question, and it's multifaceted, and I get excited when I talk about it, but I feel so good about coming into a community and bringing hope. And what I mean by hope is these young kids, and all of them are not young, but I'm 60. A lot of them think I'm around their age in their 30s and 40s, some in their 20s, the college students. I said, listen, when you come and work for Sip and Savor, you're not just a barista or a cashier. You come in to be a servant. And, for me, I'm about service. I was in the Marine Corps. I was a federal agent. I provided housing for the underserved, and now I'm providing this cultivation of love, networking, education, and the like, jobs. So what I try to explain to them is when we do the onboarding, and my daughter and Whitney Taranoff and Whitney Hampton, who helps me, we sell them on decision-making, problem-solving, conflict resolution, dealing with difficult decisions, articulating, being able to explain yourself in the King's English, just being a better person, how to prioritize. You could take them same skill sets and apply it in any industry. Whether you want to be a pilot, whether you want to be a doctor, lawyer, police officer, whatever, or start your own business. So that's what I try to bring to the communities when I open up these spaces. So what does that do inherently? It attracts other people that want to do something good or that has already did something good and want to even mentor these younger kids that's working for me in these establishments. Vis-a-vis, without dropping names, that's why all the politicians, a lot of the sports enthusiasts, a lot of the civil rights people that stop in here, radio personalities, and you got attorneys, you got developers. They're giving these kids or these young adults information on industries they want to get into. And since I've been open, it's going on 20 years next year that I've been in the coffee business, I can honestly say I've run through maybe 300 to 400 different employees, and I can't tell you how many have went on to get degrees, opened up their own business. They consulting people. Some come back here. My daughter's friends, a lot of them went to Whitney Young. Almost her whole cheerleading team worked for me, and I had no idea they all went to school together. They all attorneys. They all accountants. They all got their own business. They'll come back and work a shift just for the hell of it to kick it, chop it up with some of the community. So
that's powerful.
That's the thing I try to cultivate. Bringing them young folks in, letting them know this is more than just coffee. It's an experience. And you hear me say all the time, it's about 5 C's, being crisp, clean, classy, consistent customer service. Well, now we kind of morphed in what I call the 4 E's. We're all about education, empowerment, entertainment, and most important of all, the experience.
Sherez, when you talk about the experience and you talk about younger individuals, there's this myth out there, and you just touched upon it, Danny, when he said that many of the individuals that have worked for Sip and Savor have gone on to bigger and better things. And, I always say at the partnership that my ceiling should be your floor, right? And there's this myth out there that young people don't want to work. We have an opportunity every Saturday morning to host this show, and it wouldn't happen without the young lady who produces us, Bree. I see you back there. And Bree, so I want to try to get you in here to ask a question. Don't look at me like that. So there's this myth out there, Bree, that says, and I love to hear you to respond to this, Danny and Trez, as well, that young people don't want to work. So our show starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Every time I come in this studio, Bree don't look sleepy to me. She don't look like, as she said, but I am kind of sleepy. She don't look tired. She's here every time,
Saturday,
on time, doing her job. So, Bree, what say you about this notion that young people don't want to work?
I mean, I would prefer not to work, but I like money, so.
You prefer not to work. If you didn't have to work and you were wealthy, you wouldn't work, right?
Exactly.
But since you have to work,
she's on time. She gives it her all.
I have to, but I also like what I do. I think that's a big part about it too. Like, depending on, like, I don't want to say being a product of your environment, but a lot of people not exposed to knowing that you can work and make money off things that you enjoy.
Exactly.
And if they're not exposed to it, then they're like, oh, well, I'll just go work at McDonald's. Or, oh, I'll just work at Walmart. Or, oh, I'll just work 3 jobs to take care of
limited exposure.
my family. Yeah, so if they're not exposed to it, they really don't know. Like, I feel like if I didn't go to college, I didn't even go to college for radio. But if I didn't go to college, I would not have been exposed to, oh, I can do more than what, I see in my community.
Yeah. I think that's a great point, Bree, when you talk about, what's the old saying, and I don't know if it's absolutely true, but I do believe it. They said if you really find your purpose and you really enjoy what you're doing, you're not really working a day in your life. Because you would do it anyway, right?
Even if you had all the money, you'd still do it.
You would still do it because you enjoy it, right? So, Trez, this whole notion that young people don't want to work, because that is out there. I mean, it's something that we got to take the elephant out of the corner and put the elephant in the middle of the room. They don't want to work. They don't show up on time. They're not going to give the customers a great experience. And so how do you combat that? How do you make sure that you are attracting and retaining people? And Danny, I'd love to hear your comment on this as well in terms of this notion that young people don't want to work. Trez, you're an employer. You employ lots of young people.
Exactly.
How are you demystifying this notion that our young people are just lazy, don't want to do anything, and just they're not workers?
To be honest, I don't know if I am demystifying it. It's out there, and it's thick. And to be totally honest and transparent, we are constantly hiring, and we're constantly getting rid of people. And let me tell you why. In my mind, this is just my opinion. People give you a representation of themselves at the interview to get the job.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes time to get there, and I have this speech I give to them, and it's something I always said to all employees. They have me come in and speak. This is the CEO. This is his vision and this, that, and the other. And then all my managers take over. But I always tell them, it's just 3 things I need you to do, and we can show you everything else. Come to work, number 1. Number 2, come on time. Number 3, when you get there, work. We can show you how to make all the lattes, mochas, how to clean, and all that other stuff. You got to have a great personality that's engaging. You have to understand compassion, empathy, and all that. And for a lot of these young kids, and this is a conversation that could be had for hours, you don't know their background, their upbringing, and what they've been through and all that. So I tell them all the time, if you start at 7 o'clock, you get here at 7 o'clock, you late. If you come on time, you late. I'm from the Marine Corps. You start at 7, you get there at 6:30, 6:45, take your coat off, get yourself situated and everything else before you start. A lot of people are not used to that, though. It's a different generation now. At interviews, I done had some of them as much as tell me when I was doing interviews, before I can even ask questions, they'll ask, how much are you paying? And I can't work weekends. The first thing I think of, I'm being honest with you, and this was probably about 10 years ago when I was doing an interview, and I figured I can't do this no more. I got to have somebody that can tolerate this. The thing that bothered me with this was this person must not have bills, or they must not have any type of responsibility to come and tell the employer what they're not going to do, and they interview and they get a job. So as I digress, getting back to what you said, all of them are not like that. It's some real good young folks out here that care about community. Just for example, I done had some come over for the other big coffee industry. I don't ever say their name. They've come to work for me in droves, make less money, but they said they love what I and my company are doing in the community for disabled vets, recovering addicts, homeless, the things I do for the employees going out on outings. They love the fact that it's a community feel and everyone get treated with dignity and respect. It literally touches my heart to know that these people that are like 25 to like 35, coming from these other coffee industries, making, a few bucks more than what I'm paying people, getting a lot more pubs for being in that type of company, will leave to come to work for someone like me. So as far as the myth, I think we're doing better. We're kind of putting it away, but we do have them few that really have this entitlement mentality. And I'm finding that out in our industry that, hey, I'll get there when I get there.
Yep.
I don't need to hear all this flack. At least I showed up. Just talking to people like that that's working for them, it's kind of hard. You can't raise a grown person. So I try to look through that. I tell my managers, I tell my officers, listen, vet as best you can. Pay attention how they work in a controlled environment, how they treat other people. And over time, it's hard to suppress how you really are.
Right.
And I'm trying my best to make sure I get people that are respectful, neat, clean. They have empathy, passion, and all that stuff that you can't teach. You have to have them things. You can't go to Walmart or Amazon and buy passion and empathy and
that's right.
That stuff. So
that's right.
That's my take. That's my take, big bro.
Thanks, Trez. We do have a call on the line. Once again, WVON caller 773-591-1690, the Partnership Show. Deborah, if you're on the line.
Blessing, and this is a great topic, and Bree said it best. knowing what she wanted to do and had the desire to do that. With many of our young people, that's something that they don't know. Even older people, there are some that don't know yet what they really want to do, and that seems sad, but that may be a way of life. Yeah. The president's line, I always call, giving suggestions, complaints, and concerns, and my passion about my community, the disinvestments, and others. But the jobs, it said that he has great job numbers. My suggestion would be like what he was saying, get people to find out from our youth and even older individuals what is it that they want to do and direct them to those jobs that he has created or that have been created. And what happened when President Obama tried to get his job bill through and he couldn't get it done? But that's what I wanted to say. If we can direct young people and they see other young people and you don't give up on them, as in Matthew 25:40, the least of these, what they do to the least of these, thank you, because that's where it starts. Everybody else taking their care of their young and their youth. They even bring the young people here. They're going to have babies and be where they have quality of life, and ours don't. And they see this. So thank you for what you're doing. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for your call, Deborah.
Thank you. Bless you.
You know, Danny, we talked about this on a couple of shows earlier where we talked about, and Trez, you were mentioning it as well. You know, I posed the question, who is really responsible for your life? And you answered, well, you are.
Yeah.
And you said that 51% is on you.
It's on you.
I mean, the partnership can lead you to those careers. We can show you where those jobs are. Well, you talk about it, but it really is about you.
Exactly. I think like Trey mentioned and even Bree, it's about even after having the exposure, I think that a lot of what young people, or this idea behind young people not being motivated to work, it may come from the way they were raised. And I think even with what Bree mentioned, being exposed to it is one thing, but you still have to be able to take on the responsibility of then going after it, right? So if even all of the services that we provide at the partnership, if we do our part and we let you know about the services and, you know, we invite you to orientation and then you come and we let you know we have the resources. But like Trey was saying, it's about suitability. At every point of the game, are we checking to make sure that you're suitable? That comes from the way they walk in, the way they dress, the way they talk, all of that. At a coffee shop, of the environment that he's trying to foster, you need to make sure that you're friendly. So all of that plays a role in not just being exposed to, but in determining if this is what they want to do. So I think that with his model and what she said, all of that comes together. Yes, I can help you be exposed to it, but at the same time, you still have to be able to do your part.
Yeah, I think it's something to be said around this notion once again, and Trez said it best. I don't know if we're there yet. I think that we have a ways to go. When I remember going into a place of business, and I felt that I was a valued customer. Mm-hmm. I go into a place of business now, and I feel like they took my money because they didn't even. I mean, there are people often that you come in and they just look at you. There is no, can I help you? Can I show you where
no
there's
greeting.
Nothing, no greeting, no nothing.
And they want a tip.
And you never hear the word or hardly ever hear the word thank you after your transaction. So in a retail environment, which Trez, you are running, I'd love to hear your comment and how you foster an environment that are respectful to customers, because without customers, you're a small business owner, you know this. Without customers, there would be no need for you to have a business. There wouldn't be a business.
There would be no business.
And it's the same thing with a partnership. We're going to get one more caller in before, Trez, I asked you to do that, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back on the other hour, on the other side, and Trez will, I hope you can kind of shed some light on how you foster this environment of a customer service-centric company that really respects the fact that people are coming into your business to spend their hard-earned money. Sarah, if you're there, we're going to get you right before we take a break.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking my call. This is a topic that I am interested in, and I don't think I heard it, but if so, Trez, can you repeat where you're located? And also, do you all have private meeting rooms? So if I wanted to have a small meeting or something, do you have private rooms for meetings?
I'll answer your second question first. We don't have private rooms, but we have the ability, if you want to rent it out for a small period of time, or if you get there on certain downtimes, depending on how big your meeting group is, you can get in the corner and grab some coffee and tea and be able to discuss. And I'll give you information about that later. Going to your first thing, we have 5 locations, and I'll be quick. 2 in Bronzeville, 528 East 43rd Street, 78 East 47th, which is the historical Rosenwald building. 1 in Hyde Park in the Del Prado building, 5301 South Hyde Park Boulevard. We just took over 2 of them big giant stores. One is on Roosevelt and Wabash. The other is on Bryn Mawr and Winthrop.
Okay, thank you. I know I will probably definitely be coming to one because I truly believe in supporting Black businesses. So thank you so much, and keep up the good work.
And that's Sip and Savor,
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate that.
Sip and Savor.
Sip and Savor.
Thank you, Sarah, for the call. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back on the other side. And, Trez, I'd love to hear your comments about this notion of fostering an environment where customers feel welcome.
Will do, sir.
Search? In need of training to get new skills? Are you an employer looking for a great hire? The Chicago Cook County Workforce Partnership can help. We're the umbrella organization for the largest publicly funded workforce development system in the nation, serving Chicago and Cook County. Our network consists of more than 90 community-based organizations that can offer you the assistance you need at no cost. Make the call. Dial 1-800-720-2515 or visit shycookworks.org to find the connection you need.
Chicagoans love their barbecue, and one of the hometown favorites is The Slab at 1918 East 71st Street near 71st and Jeffrey. It's all about the meat at Trice's Original Slab Barbecue. That's why The Slab marinates its rib in a secret rub for 48 hours before it hits the pit. Check out The Slab's rib tips, barbecue chicken, beef, pork, and turkey links, turkey legs. And when you come to The Slab, you can get more than their delicious slow-cooked meat. You can get a meal. The Slab offers delicious homemade sides like mac and cheese, candied yams, mixed greens, spaghetti, potato salad, and coleslaw. Voted #1 on the South Side by the Chicago Tribune, Trice's Original Slab Barbecue is family-owned and operated in the heart of South Shore. Stop by 1918 East 71st Street near 71st and Jeffrey and pick up your slab today.
The Slab opens daily at 11 a.m. for call-in orders, Uber Eats, Grubhub, or the Slab Zone delivery service. Call 773-966-5018. Now serving turkey tips.
Welcome back to the Partnership Show with George Wright. We are having a great show.
Very great show.
Have our special guest, Trez Pugh, CEO, founder, owner-operator of Sip and Savor. So before we went to break, Trez, we posed the question, how do you continue to foster something that is somewhat unique today, an environment where it's welcoming to our customers? I mean, again, if I have a customer service person in any industry say thank you after my transaction, I'm shocked because it is not normal, and it used to be commonplace. So how do you how do you take this environment? How do you make your business stand out and say, no, we're going to make sure that we welcome and that we respect the person that is coming in spending their hard-earned money?
Well, it's a lot of moving parts. It isn't just me, that's for darn sure. I have a team that I put a vision out to of how I envision when I go. You know how we do, George. Me, you, and the wives, we go out to eat. We want to have the finest of everything. We want to be treated like royalty because we about to spin a grip. So I try to encompass that it's me coming through my own establishment. So I challenged my officers, which is my daughter, Tara Knopp. She's my chief implementation officer. And then I have Whitney Hampton, who's my chief strategy officer, to come up with scripts, what should be said, how it should be said, when they come in and when they leave. And basically, real quick, when people come in, it's always, hi, welcome to Sip and Savor. What can we get started for you? At every location, they should be saying that. Now, granted, that's not done 100%, but they know during the training and onboarding they're supposed to do that. Next thing is, you give eye contact, you smile, and you try to remember if a customer comes in there 10, 15 times, you needs to be knowing their name and their drink. So when they, hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing? Are you getting that banana caramel latte? How's the dog doing? It's the personal touch.
I like that.
So that's one of the moving parts. Another moving part, when I was an operations manager at the post office before I became a Fed, I was over the finance and the window operation. And I had what you call mystery shoppers. So my people never know who's coming in there. And I got like 4 to 5 things they look at. Do they greet you when you come in? When you leave, do they thank you for coming in? Are the bathroom cleaned? Is the place neat? Are the tables wiped down? These mystery shoppers come in all forms, all races. I can never say that word right. And all ages. All they do is report back to me what time they was in there. They don't know the employees' names or nothing. What time they was in there. What did they see? That's that quality assurance or that quality control piece. So now we done trained you. We done educated you. You got these quality people following up on it. And then I got my customers that's used to a certain thing. I got customers that'll call me and tell me if things are foul or array because they look at it as their coffee house. So that's some of the things I do, all the moving parts. I make sure you treat the people that's coming in as either your mom or your dad or your brother or sister. When they get ready to leave, I thank you for choosing Sip and Savor. That's what I really tell them to say. But someone said, thanks for coming in. I'm not going to trip off of that. Always try to get to know their name and something personal about them. If they come in there and talk, it's almost like a bar. Talk about their kid in college. Hey, how's your kid doing? They finish yet? That's that personal touch that make you think, hey, this is my shop.
Exactly.
You know, I love what you said, Trez, about ownership, and I think that is something that many businesses continue to struggle with because oftentimes, as you know, employees do not feel like they are part owners in anything. That's why they have this, I'm not greeting you, and it's not thing. It's so, well, if you come in, you just in fact, sometimes they have the attitude that customers are actually a burden. Or you taking up my time. Why are you coming in here, interrupting my day?
Exactly.
The other thing I think that we need to, and we're going to go to a caller real quick, but I want to get you to thinking about this question, which is another myth, perhaps. You know, black folk will always tell you, man, Danny, I'm really trying to support that black business. Man, I'm trying my best. But every time I go in there, the bathroom, I can't, the smell is unbelievable. It's dirty in there.
Soap to wash your hands.
The product is bad. It's inconsistent.
The staff is rude.
I just can't do it. Man, I just can't do it. I'd love to do it. I mean, I got money, and I want to spend it. And I want to support our black businesses like Sarah called. I want to support this black business. But the notion out there is black businesses, or at least this is the myth, or this is the gorilla in the corner, Trez, the black businesses makes it difficult. They make it hard
to support.
So before you noodle that, and then I'm gonna get Rachel. I'm gonna get Rachel on the line. Rachel, if you're there, thanks for calling. You're on the line. WBON 1690.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
I would like to say that everything that the owner was saying is so spot on. As a customer, as a person who started out in retail, everything he said was spot on. When you have people that are coming to your place of business, you expect certain things. And he hit all of the checks in the boxes. So as a consumer, I would want to come to Sip and Savor. I've been there a couple of times. It's always clean, always nice people in there. And I just want to say that I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're doing for the neighborhood, the community, and upholding that standard. We have to bring back standards. And
totally.
Just want to tell you, just thank you. Just thank you for contributing to the community, and everything he said was spot on. I used to work in Nordstrom, and they set a standard for us with customer service that when you come through that door,
that's right,
you have to drop everything because it's about the customer. And that's what brings you repeat clients.
Exactly.
Correct.
The way you treat that customer, that's how you get that customer to come back and say, you know what, I like going there. I like spending my money there. And we have to bring that back to the consumers. So I'm glad that you spoke on that.
I just want to say I appreciate you. And what's your hiring age for the summer? Because I got a team that's looking for something. So, hey, I put it right on down there.
Yeah, no doubt. I really hire 14, 15. They just can't be on the rest. I have them learning about stocking and all that. I really don't have a age. As long as they're respectful and their mom or dad is somewhere close in the community and they're close, they can come in and pick them up. I always try to hire, especially high school kids. I try to get them started early on.
A lot of
interaction
to do. Mm-hmm.
And Rachel,
And
I want
thanks
to
for the
remind you.
compliment.
Thanks for the compliment. Yep, thanks
Rachel,
for the call.
Remind you, levelupajc.org if you have a young person that's looking to get employment opportunities. We also work with youth and young adults as well. So visit levelupajc.org to connect your young person to an opportunity.
Now.
Yep.
And thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
You too. So I would push back.
Thank you, Black Man.
Trez, before you jump in, I would push back. I'd love for you to interject the answer to this comment or question in your soliloquy around this, this notion that, I really want to spend money in with these black businesses, but they make it real hard. I think that Rachel touched upon something. She said, we expect better. Mm-hmm. I don't think we do. I think we have become so accustomed to bad customer service
that's what we expect.
That's what we expect because we're shocked. That's what
Indeed.
I think. We're shocked because when you see somebody that goes above and beyond, you're shocked because most people are not. They don't feel like they have any ownership in the company. They don't feel like they're respected, and they come in. It's just a job, 9 to 5. I got to go, and if you come in, great. If you don't come in, great.
Hopefully you don't.
So Trez, I'm going to turn it back to you. We got another call on the line before we got about 9 minutes to go, but would love to hear your comment about this notion of. How do we make sure that we're not making it hard for people to spend money in our communities?
That's good.
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, man, that noodling, man, that got me, boy. You and your vocabulary, bro, and soliloquy. That's my man. So here's the thing, and it happens because it's so repetitious. I was in real estate real quick. Most times, a lot of people wanted to duck black contractors because they shoddy work and all this. I mean, I could talk on and on. The thing that I would say to people, your listeners, and any entrepreneurs out there, we all we have. If we are not doing something right, give us the opportunity to fix it.
Yep.
Sometimes what we do, as soon as somebody come in and they get some bad service, they go on Yelp, they go on Google, they blast it, oh, it's horrible. But they would go into these corner stores, you know which kind I'm talking about, where they selling single Pampers or they selling, Chico sticks and Red Pop and all that and calling you all out your name, but you keep going back every other day.
That's true.
So
Blue squares and the whole thing.
Tolerate.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm just being real with you. You know how I get down, George.
Yep.
When you do these things, that's why I trademark, you deserve what you tolerate. If you allow someone to treat you that way, if you keep doing something, whether it's in a relationship, a business, service, and you keep doing it, you have to look at yourself and say, what's wrong with me? What we need to do as businesses, as people and everything, is give us a chance to fix it. If I go into a black establishment and it's nasty or whatever, I look for the manager. I say, I went in the bathroom, wasn't no toilet paper, whatever. Okay, we'll take care of Mr. Pugh. If I go into a place, hey, this steak ain't really that high, can you take it back? It's hot to me. Depending on how they respond and how we treat each other is what determines whether I'm going to come back. And most people, most logical people, are not going to be talked to anyway, treated anyway. But if you're kind and you done made mistakes, I can't tell you how many gift cards I done gave out, how many times I done came up to the store to meet the person personally and said, look, this is not how we do things. Let me give you a gift card. Not only that, your next few visits here, I want to pay for your meal without using it. Some of them take it, some just already upset and don't want to come. But we should go above and beyond to make sure that we're giving platinum service to our people every day, all day, no excuses.
Agreed. We got Cecilia on the line. Thanks for waiting, Cecilia. You're on the line.
Yes, good morning. I love Sip and Savor. I have been.
All right, now.
Right. I've been getting my my drink, my coffee special drink, since he had a partnership on 43rd Street. Now, we're talking about at least a couple of decades or almost at least one.
Yeah.
And what I really like, best. And I go to all the ones that are on the South Side. Is the idea of a senior discount and a point system. I love that. So, I mean, you have points added up, you get your senior discount, and when I get my senior discount, I give my discount as a tip. Proudly.
Wow.
Go ahead. And yesterday, I drove down Roosevelt and Wabash, and so I said, there's Sippin' Oh, you know what used to be.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Wish you all the luck. And, yes, get your drink on. Minimum.
I appreciate you.
And keep that senior citizen discount going, and those you may want to make sure you double your points the next time.
Oh, yeah. He'll recognize me when I see him, and I'll let him know. But I'm extremely proud and happy for all of us black folks.
Yeah.
Want to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Darlene,
you touched my heart. That's touching. I love you for it.
Darlene, we're going to try to get you in quickly, but we got about 4 minutes left. So you have a quick question or comment?
Yes. I want to say good morning, blessings to everyone. Happy New Year's to you, to everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah. So my comment is directed to I don't know your last name, Mr. Danny, the person
Marshall.
from the American.
Danny Marshall.
Mr. Marshall. Okay. Yes. I basically wanted to try to find out what went wrong, or also to find out if I received this little email. I do believe it was on the 16th. No, actually it was the 15th. And it was talking about they're closed. They're going to be closed for Martin Luther King. Well, quite naturally, I was well aware of that. And then they gave me options of different services that I could sign up for. And it didn't come. It came from what they call E&ES, Employment Services. I believe that's what it's for. And so they gave me a list of different different locations. And so I opted to sign up for the one at the Mid-South for their We Are orientation, which would have been that Thursday from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. And so that was the next day, Tuesday, the 16th. And so I never got a response back. I did get an email back. The reply was that someone would get in touch with me and let me know if I would be able to actually attend that particular day. Well, I did not receive it as of yet. So the Thursday morning, I got up at 7 o'clock trying to see, let me see if they say I'll be able to attend. And mind you, was snowing in it. So I never received anything back. And I didn't know if I should just went on there anyway and took a chance of them saying, well, yes, you may attend, or yes, or no, you can't. So how does that work? I still have not received a confirmation.
You know what? Let me just get your contact information, then I'll make sure somebody follow up with you. What's your first name again?
I'm Darlene.
Darlene. And Darlene, if you don't mind, either I could give you my contact email, and then you could just follow up with us. Actually, our contact email.
I can give you my email address. Yes, sir.
Okay, what's that?
I didn't want to be giving all the information over the phone. I can be at Riggs, RIGGS, Darlene, DARLENE2 at Gmail.
Got you. I'll make sure somebody reach out to you this week.
Thanks for your call, Darlene.
I called about 2 weeks prior, asking about maybe 3 weeks. I was asking about the training for the CompTIA. So I'm serious about following up with that. But
okay. Thanks, Darlene. We'll make sure that we reach out to you and follow up. Thank you very much for the call. Trez, we're going to. We've got about a minute to go, and I want to give you kind of 60 seconds to say anything you'd like. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely.
It's been a great show because, while we are basically an agency that connects career seekers with career providers, you are actually a person providing careers.
Exactly.
You're in there. You're in the vineyard. You're working. And someone said, well, I wish you luck. Well, I know you. And this is not about luck. This is about hard work.
Yes, it is.
So, Trez, anything you want to say before? And once again, really appreciate you coming on the show.
No doubt. Thanks for having me. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for inviting me. I mean, you guys are doing God's work. I mean, you are the conduit for businesses to connect with people that need work, first of all. The next thing is I would like to say to all your listeners to keep listening to what you're saying, because you guys are putting out a lot of good information. You're giving it to them straight. You know, I appreciate when we, as a people, reach out and help others. Because both of you could be doing something different. You could be doing something else, be with your family. Now, you choose to do this. So that shows your commitment level. It shows that you're serious about this. And it makes me feel good because we need more of this with all the things we're dealing with now. So I'll just say in closing, for all of those that support Sip and Save, I love you. On behalf of my team, we are constantly out here trying to provide a perfect service for you guys. And we're more than just coffee.
Yep.
We do financial literacy events. We do things on trust and wills. I'm trying to educate our community on how to get money in the community and how when, unfortunately, something happened to one of our loved ones, we hold on to our assets.
Right.
So please check us out at www.sipandsaveitchicago.com. Follow us on Instagram at sipandsaveitchicago.com. I love you guys. And George, let's connect after this, man.
Thank you, Trez. And as we always end our show, you mentioned it well. The song is called Open Our Eyes. And if we collectively do that, we can make it happen. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Trez. And thanks to our WVON listeners.
Appreciate you.
Great show.
All right.
What you say, Danny?
Open eyes.
Oh, yeah.